Good morning, everybody. My name is Sarah. It's a windy day out there today, so I'm going to keep my ride inside. I've got to find a USB hub for more than 4 ports because I've run out. And I'm going to get my video from yesterday uploaded. I hope you guys are having a great day. And yet again, I have to adult. Okay, ride done. Just a quick, easy ride. I love base miles. But I've used Zwift now for probably close to a month, a little bit less maybe. And I wanted to give some of my thoughts, opinions, recommendations, whatever on it. So I'm gonna start by saying I think it's great. I would highly recommend it for people who spend a lot of time cycling indoors in like their off season or their winter and have a really hard time getting motivated to do rides. That being said, I think there are a number of things that they're probably working on and have already been suggested before that I think would make the interface with Zwift like 100 times better. It's already a great program. I like what they're doing with it. But there's a few things that I think, some of them are really easy that could be probably overnight fixes, and then some of them are probably gonna be more long-term structural and manpower related issues that they can fix. Okay, first and foremost, this is your main screen here. What I would recommend putting here, and I think it would be an easy fix, is your menu screen. Your main menu is not available unless you enter this ride. So just put a little main menu down here in the lower right hand or left hand corner so that you can click on there, you can change your little avatar guy, you can change the trainer resistance, you can look at, what kind of jerseys you want to wear, just all the different things. There's a bunch of different settings you can change, and you should be able to access it before you even enter the ride screen. Number 2 is this right here. So when you select a course, either when you hover over this or when you click on one, just put a profile here or some kind of information like elevation gain, something that gives you an idea. I'll give you an example. I entered this 2015 UCI Worlds course today, if I can click on it properly and not be an idiot. And I had no idea what I was walking into. Now, I know you can look it up on the internet, but when you're getting ready for a ride, you want to know what you're picking, especially considering right now these courses change on a regular basis, every day, every 2 days, something like that. Having something that just tells you what the terrain map is like, that would be helpful to know what kind of in-ride workout you can do, what kind of intervals you can plan or what you have planned, and if that particular course is compatible with what you're doing on the bike. Over here where you have events, I have not done an event yet or started an event, but I don't see an area to add an event. I'm assuming you have to do that right through the website. That would be nice that if you could integrate that right into the app where it could even just link you to the website, just click a button and the website will pop up so that you can create an event. That'd be nice because this should be your one-stop shop for everything. Now, when it comes to the courses, and I'm sure a bunch of other people would love to see more options. Like you have your London courses, the Richmond courses, and you're only able to do certain courses on certain days. Like Watopia is not always available to you, or London is not always available to you. And I know this is going to be like a space and server consideration, so I'm hoping that they're working on expanding on that so that you have more options. I mean, long time down in the future, it would be great if they could do something like get together with the Cyclops virtual training platform where any course that's created via GPS mapping can be simulated. The graphical interface isn't going to copy what's on the road. You're not going to see all the individual houses and things like that, but it'd be nice if it just kind of populated randomly, houses, trees, things like that. Just something for you to stare at other than, a boring 2 or 3D map. So this is talked about a lot by people, jerseys, being able to make custom jerseys. Now, I know that when you let people customize the jersey, you're going to end up with a lot of inappropriate or stupid things from people who just can't be adults. Here's what I would recommend Zwift would do. Allow for groups or clubs or racing teams to submit their jersey, just their stock image that they've provided to Castelli or, whatever jersey company they had make their jersey, just that stock, colored image. Submit that to Zwift. Maybe submit it through Facebook so Zwift can go back and look to see that this is a Facebook group with multiple members. Just leave it open to groups and teams only for right now, because if every individual wanted to customize a jersey, nobody would be able to program all of that in. But qualify the image, have somebody look at it, or create an algorithm to make sure that the jersey is appropriate, and then give them one of the promo codes that they can give to their team to unlock that particular jersey so that the members of the team can wear the jersey. I would love to have this jersey right here available for me and my teammates on Zwift. Maybe that's something that's in the works. I might be oversimplifying it as well, but I know policing it would be an issue, so I think maybe just closing it to teams and clubs and groups and maybe charity groups only that will have like a legitimate Facebook presence in a group of people, so that you can see that this isn't one person trying to put a jersey with the middle finger or naked lady or something. That, this is a family-friendly platform, trying to keep it clean. So when it comes to the app, what I would like to see, other than the standalone app for the Android for people who don't have the ability to use this on their computer, is somewhere on this screen or the main screen here. When you're in a ride, there's actually a stop button and then a U-turn button. It would be nice if they also had 2 arrow buttons. There are places on the course where you can actually turn in different directions. And unless you're using your laptop or your computer right in front of you and are able to touch it or mouse over to 1 or 2 directions, if you decide to turn into a different direction, so let's say you picked the figure 8 course, the standard Watopia figure 8 course. It'll automatically direct you in the figure 8, and it'll take the proper turns for you. But if you've decided that, you know what, I've done 2 laps of this and I want to do something else and I want to turn, right at this juncture coming up, you can't do that from the app. And for me, when I keep my computer across the room, I'm just basically following the same course. I can't just change it up or wander around aimlessly. So I'm hoping that they can add a button for that for the app. The next one I'd like to see is kind of a big hitter for people who are interested in using this as a platform for group rides. The chat function, chuck it. There's no reason for it. I mean, who the hell's typing while they're riding on their bike? If you're typing, you're not working hard enough, in my opinion. What would be nice is if you could do some kind of voice link. Now, I understand that that's going to create a completely new, larger infrastructure. And Zwift, realistically, is still pretty small. But if they could, create an infrastructure where you can connect with different riders, something either in the menu screen or riders nearby screen where you can select certain riders. So not everybody's going to hear a bunch of chatter. When you join maybe an event, maybe it'll be events only or group rides only, that you guys can interface with each other, and that might be effective. Now, you might be saying, well, you shouldn't be talking while you're riding, you're not working hard enough. But when you're interfacing with other group riders, and let's say you're trying to do like pace line, not like practice being in a pace line, but pace line efforts with your group where somebody's on the front and then they shift to the back, it might be nice to say, hey, pulling off, or, we're turning left at this, at this turn here. Just simple commands and things that you can execute with other riders, because when all those little avatars get jumbled up in that one little area, it's tough to really tell what's going on. I mean, I got swept up into the middle of a group and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So it'd be nice for events and group rides for people to be able to communicate verbally with one another, where they can wear maybe a gaming headset or a pair of headphones. Most headphones these days now have a microphone built in, so they can plug that right into their tablet or their computer, whatever they've got nearby, and they can talk to one another. Because right now what you'd have to do is either set up like a Skype call or some kind of voice sharing or open call internet framework, which it's a little bit inconvenient. So maybe it's something already being worked on, but I think it'd be a great addition and would add a lot of value to the program. So the next thing I've gone kind of back and forth about, and I'm not really sure what the right way to handle this is, but I think what would be nice is if platforms were separated, and separated for a couple different things. Perhaps putting group riders and solo riders on separate courses would be nice, because it does get a little bit jumbled up, and it gets a little bit distracting when you're maybe on a solo ride trying to do efforts or intervals, and then all of a sudden this group comes by and there's just a lot of shit going on. And the other thing is people using Z-Power versus people using actual power and smart trainers. Perhaps putting them on separate courses as well would be appropriate. Now this is more of probably an ego-based thing or a distraction-based thing, but you know, when you're talking about maybe trying to reach for that, you know, those little carrots that Zwift puts out there for you, like the little KOMs or the segments that they put out there, it's not fair to try to attack a segment for, you know, maybe the best time because you're trying to push yourself for something that's unattainable. I can't possibly beat a person who is using Z-Power, which might be artificially exaggerated, and then they put maybe their weight in incorrectly in the platform. So I'm reaching for a completely unattainable number. Now, granted, I'm not here to win the internet or to win Zwift. I'm here to get a good training workout in or what have you. But sometimes it's one of those things where I'm going to catch that guy up there. I'm going to put in a little bit of an effort. I'm going to put in a zone 5 or zone 6 effort. I'm going to catch that guy. Or, hey, this looks like it's a 2-minute climb. I'm going to really attack this and see if I can get in the top 5 or the top 10 to find out, you know, it's not. It's really not. And some of the times on these things are so unreasonable. I'm not the strongest rider on the face of the planet. Don't get me wrong. But I'm looking at some of these, you know, numbers and these wattages on these segments. Pro riders aren't doing that. It's Z-Power, and I understand that, you know, Z-Power is a great option for people who don't have the income or the interest in having a smart trainer or power meter, but perhaps putting them on a separate course or a separate platform so that people compete with like people. That's not to disparage anybody who's using Z-Power. I think it's a great thing, and it's a way to gauge your own growth. And you should be competing against other people using Z-Power, you know, in the game. So the same thing goes with people with power meters or smart trainers. We should be competing against those people who have similar equipment, and there's not like unfair advantages. And then maybe those carrots have a little bit more value. Now, I hope that these things didn't come across as me hating on Zwift, because I love the platform. Like I said, I think it's great. I've said this in other videos. It is an unbelievably effective tool in providing the impetus and desire to get on your bike and train when the elements otherwise prevent you from doing so in the manner that's most natural to cyclists. And apparently I heard running is on the platform, so that's pretty cool too. But what I will say about Zwift is they're really taking an interest in what the customer has to say. They actually commented on one of my videos, and I've seen several other videos from content creators out there talking about Zwift, and even if they're criticizing Zwift, they've made it a point to respond to them and to reach out to them to see how they can improve, to see how they can help that person's experience. They're taking an interest in people. They actually watch YouTube for people out there so that they can take that feedback and make this the most effective platform that they can for a great community. I mean, the cycling community is really an awesome community for the most part. So I highly recommend Zwift. Zwift gets a great review from me. I've already talked about positives on Zwifts in other videos. I will link them below if you have not seen them. But this is just a little bit of a review of things that I'd love to see in the future. And I'm sure this is not the first time somebody has brought up any of these recommendations, and I'm sure Zwift is considering all of them. So that's my little review on Zwift. Now I gotta get ready to go to work. I gotta bring my computer to work. I actually have somebody who works with me is having a difficult time with networking on their laptop all of a sudden when there was no issues, as well as networking both hardline and wirelessly. So I am going to try to set something up with my laptop and theirs and a wireless connection and see if I can get the thing to network. Might be a virus issue. Don't know, so I'm bringing my stuff, see if I can help her out, because it appears at work I am the resident arts and crafts director, engineer, and IT manager all in one. And yeah, that's really exciting. So I'm going to pack up my stuff here. This thing is actually one of the best purchases I ever made. This is a Rocketfish universal adapter for computers. It came with, looks like, 8 different adapters. Plugs into pretty much any laptop you want. So if you are somewhere, I can plug in my laptop, I can plug in her laptop, I can plug in pretty much any brand laptop. And this thing was probably half the price as the original replacement, and works just as well. So I'm gonna bring that with me just in case. I'm always kind of rushing around. I gotta get my ass out the door. Alexa, turn all lights off. That's the frozen lake over there. That's the source of our snow. Alright, so off to work I go. It's actually 50 degrees out right now, which is unbelievable. So this is kind of our first thaw. A lot of the snow around is melting. It's making the roads a little bit wet. Actually, right where I'm driving right now, it's pretty dry, but in my neighborhood, like, the roads are really soaked, and the winds are starting to die down. They were pretty high all night. I mean, it sounded like the windows were going to cave in, for Christ's sake. So it's a little too windy to ride, but I'm actually hoping that everything kind of thaws out and melts, and I'm hoping that the weather carries through to the weekend, because if it's 50 degrees this weekend, I would love nothing more than to go for a really nice, long endurance ride, just kind of chill out, get a little stir-crazy being inside. So, at any rate, I'm going to end the vlog here, but let me know your thoughts down below about Zwift, because I know a lot of my subscribers are using Zwift or thinking about using Zwift, and I put a couple of, you know, my criticisms or recommendations for Zwift, and let me know if you guys have any more of those, or if you agree or disagree with any of those, because I know that there's kind of mixed opinions on some of this stuff. Not everybody is going to think that Zwift is perfect, but I thought I picked a bunch of stuff that, you know, is something that's going to kind of be of benefit, you know, to most people and capture the most users that, you know, in this cycling community, because I think a lot of us are very like-minded in this particular community, or in the athletic community, period. People who are endurance athletes tend to be very much alike in personality and preferences and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Please leave any comments, questions, concerns, and anything else in between down in the comments boxes below, and I will see you guys in the next one.